hooked up, but we found a problem. There it is right there. Right there. They have no food here. And here we are at Clio's River's Edge RV Park in Clio, California, which is in the Tahoe National Forest area. Probably about 25 miles away from Truckee, California. A nice little park that we discovered through some friends of ours who had made some reservations during the July 4th weekend and invited us to come along. We gave it a shot. We went online and got lucky and got a spot reserved for the same weekend. So when we first pulled in, there was a sign saying stop it here. Due to COVID, they came out and checked us in. So the lady was super nice, asked a few questions, gave us our map, and told us to hang out while the guy in the golf cart come around and to follow him. Off we go. Got a nice little tour of the campground as he led us through. One of the things that we did is we had asked when we went online, there was a little box, a little text box where you can ask for special requests. So I said, what the heck? I typed in there that we were camping with a certain family and if there was any way possible they could get us close to them. I never got a response. I assumed that it wasn't going to happen. But as this gentleman was getting me to park, I noticed that our friend's RV was directly across from ours. So they heard our request and they granted it, so that was really nice. I told him that I was no good at backing up. I had only done it a few times, but he told me that he was an expert, and he gave me some few easy directions, and I was in there in no time, probably some of the fastest that I've ever done it. So great little service that they offer. We are in Clio, California at the Clio River's Edge RV Resort. So we're here. We're hooked up, but we found a problem. As soon as I hooked up the water, it started spilling from here. Coming out the top, you can probably see the water there. It squirted at the bottom of the pass-through here, all the way, and it started dripping down the other side onto the ground. So, on the other side of this is the bedroom. So one of the things that we had them fix was on one side of the bed, there's a little it looks like a step, but it isn't. It basically, it covers the hoses that go to this pump and through the RV. So my suspicion is when they fixed that, they either poked a hole through one of the hoses or something came loose. So I gotta take this apart and see where the water's coming from, because it's shooting out quite a bit. So we'll see what we find. Okay, I just turned on the water. I'm about to get splashed here by something. There it is right there. Right there. Okay, so it appears it was an easy fix, thank goodness. So when I saw the water was shooting out from this part here, I thought it was coming out from the other side of this bracket that's closing off this blue plastic tube. I also noticed that this valve it looked like a little cockeye, so basically all I did is I unscrewed it all the way and screwed it back in, and it went in easily. This basically connects to that, which connects to the hose that leads all the way out there to the water source. So the water's on, full power, no leaks, thank God. That's all it was. So it just came loose. I'm not sure how. I don't know if the RV guys did that. I just don't see why that would be the reason. There was no reason for them to come out here and mess with this. So I think it just happens to be coincidence. So anyway, my apologies to the RV crew. Anyway, I'm glad it's fixed. Otherwise, that would have been big trouble. We just started our 4-night camping trip, and if we didn't have water, that would have been pretty miserable. All right, good. One disaster averted. Okay, so we're all set up. There's our trailer. We got an end spot, which is kind of nice, pretty big. It's all gravel, so not a whole lot of dust. The guy, when we arrived, the guy Showed us where our campsite was. We followed him while he was on the golf cart, and he backed me in super fast, probably the fastest I've ever done it. Getting around this tree. A lot of parking for my truck. We got everything hooked up and ready to go. Thank God I was able to fix that minor problem. Okay, here is a quick virtual tour of the campground. Very clean, very nice. The staff are very friendly and helpful. This campground is set alongside the Feather River here with a few campsites, actually quite a few campsites that back up to this river. However, there are only a couple of areas with beach access, and along the river there's only a couple areas that you can consider a beach. Really small, but very nice. Yeah. Graeagle, California. A charming little town, something that very much reminded me of little middle America towns that you see in old Hollywood movies. Today's the 4th of July and we're pulling into the parking lot of the Graeagle store, mill pond, and the Graeagle outpost. Big parking lot, lots of room for cars. Again, this is the 4th of July and there are a lot of people out. Here's the mill pond. We didn't partake in the activities on today, it was just way too busy. But we did come back a couple of days later and enjoyed the pond. Very nice, refreshing place to hang out. So just outside the Graeagle store, there was a lemonade stand, so we decided to check it out. Turns out it was a fundraiser for childhood cancer. It was a hot day and we wanted to donate, so we got ourselves a couple of nice cold glasses of lemonade and enjoyed them before we went into the store. So the Graeagle store is tiny, but pretty much has anything you're gonna need. The campground that we stayed at did not have a camp store, so if you forgot something and you needed something, you're pretty much out of luck. You would have to drive a few miles down the road to this store and get what you need. Again, it's not too far away and it's a great place to stock up on stuff if you need it. Our next stop was the Greagle Mountian Frostee ice cream shop. They have a little bit of everything, lots of different types of foods, but we came for the ice cream, which was very, very good and very much needed on such a hot day. Here we are at Frazier Falls in the Plumas National Forest area, several miles away from our campground. Beautiful area. The hike is very short to the falls. It is a quarter-mile up and a quarter-mile back, and the entire trail is paved, so it makes it really, really easy. And before you know it, you're at the falls for some great views. Due to the time of year, the waterfall itself wasn't as awesome as it is in the winter months, but it was still well worth the half-mile hike. The hike itself was gorgeous, and the views at the end of the trail were absolutely spectacular. We are in Blairsden, California. We stopped at a place called the Brewing Lair that friends of ours said we should try. I was all excited about coming here. It's a brewery. We were hungry, hoping to get some lunch, but first thing I want to say, they have no food here. All they have here is kettle corn, popcorn. But we're each having it's called the Blair. It's a Belgian blonde. It's good. But it's a beautiful place. You saw the video. This is gorgeous. It's hard to find. We barely missed. We actually missed it the first time, even with the GPS. It said you have arrived. We looked. We couldn't see anything, so we had to turn around and find the little sandwich board sign on the road.
So there's a little turnoff right off Highway 70, and if you're looking for it, you'll see it, but if you're not looking for it, you won't find it. And it's a dirt road, and there's like some overflow parking down the way a little bit, and there's a couple of signs up the way. Nothing's paved, it's all dirt road. It's pretty primitive. And then you get up here and there's a bunch of little buildings, separate buildings. There's a beautiful deck, a bunch of beautiful tables and picnic tables and chairs, and just different grassy area and a fire pit, and so there's people throughout. It's a really nice atmosphere. They have a little area for swag. I got a couple of shirts, we got a beer, and then we came and sat down.
Oh, you bought me this hat? I like it a lot.
So now we're just enjoying the beautiful weather and the atmosphere, and the view and the beer and hanging out until we find what we want to go do for lunch.
This is our last full day here in the area. We're surrounded by the forest. I'm not really sure if we're currently in the Plumas or the Tahoe National Forest. I can't
We're in Plumas.
Plumas?
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous here. Great place to camp. Lots to see. You just gotta venture out though. It's probably one of the first times that we've been camping where we actually went out of our campground and just kind of drove around and checked stuff out. I mean, that's what it's all about.
There's a lot of little towns surrounding the RV park that we're at, and a lot of history. Most of the towns are over 100 years old, and just really, really beautiful. Very rural, very small population. So I'm sure half the people here are all on vacation as well. It's a beautiful time of year.
All right, we're gonna finish our beer and head out and see what else we could find. This is Sardine Lake. Just absolutely gorgeous. Heidi and I rented a boat, a tiny little fishing boat with a little outrigger setup, outboard engine. I mean, it's just beautiful. I don't know what to say. We're literally surrounded 360 degrees by just natural beauty. I'm gonna try to So what you see is where we came from. That's where we rented the boat. There's a little restaurant area, very pretty. They have cabins for rent as well. Although where we're at, you can't really see, but up there you can kind of see the tip of the snow-capped mountains. When we get a little further, you will be able to see it. There's a waterfall right there, covered by the trees. And all the way back around. I mean, that's pretty much what we're surrounded by. We're basically anchored in at the moment. Heidi's here sunbathing herself, sorta. We're just chilling here on the boat. A couple other friends of ours, we're gonna go on a hike. That was our original plan. And they were gonna basically be hiking this bridge all the way up there. It's like a fire road, looks like, and all the way up there. I decided that hanging out, just chilling on this boat on the lake would be a much better idea, better suited for us. And I think we were right.
It's actually a great payoff for the hike.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're on the far end of the lake. That right there is where all the boats are parked and where we rented our boat and drifted it out. So let me show you what I was talking about earlier. What we couldn't see because we were too close to that side of the shore is those mountains right there, snow-capped mountains. Oh, not really snow-capped, but there's still a little snow up there. But it's just, this video and photographs do not do it justice. It looks so majestic, so picturesque. I mean, it looks like a freaking painting. It's the best way I could describe it. Photographs in this video is not going to do it any justice at all. You get no depth of field, none whatsoever. It's just pretty incredible to see in person. There's Wade and Christy. They wanted to go for a hike. We decided we'd rather hang out on the boat. I think we made the smart choice. They look pretty tired and hot and thirsty. We're none of those things.
They look miserable.
See, she's drinking her water. It's probably the last drop. We still got plenty.